Hello, everyone, and welcome to the much belated Ask Me Anything. We're just going to call it Holiday Edition because Christmas is pretty far gone at this point. I do apologize for the lateness of this. Unfortunately, I just really didn't have any time to do the questions while I was off with my family for vacation. I did get a few other videos recorded, as you might have seen, but yeah, I just couldn't take the time to really put together doing the video then. But I'm able to do it now. So let's get right into your questions, starting with several from StallChild15. The first of which is, which Doctor Who monster do you think is the scariest? And I thought a bit on this because the angels are definitely up there as well as a few others, but I think the scariest one is the unnamed entity, whatever it might be, from Midnight. And yeah, I mean that was one of the first ones that ever truly seemed to jar the Doctor himself in one of the episodes, which I thought was particularly amazing. But yeah, just overall, just the entire way that that entity, completely unseen throughout the entire episode by us, the viewers, I just find that to be one of the scariest and one of the ones that has the most potential should it ever come back. So yeah, that's my answer for the first one. The second question from StallChild15 is, which Doctor Who monster do you think is designed best? And this one, I had to put a lot of thought into this one because I feel like probably the three best designed monsters would be well, the Daleks, even as simple as they are, they're just a real genius to their design. The Clockwork robots, which I don't know, there's just something about them that I just found truly intriguing, from the their inner workings to the costume design. And then the angels, which, I mean, as simple as they are, they're statues. There's just this, the way they're designed just for gives this creepiness to it, this feeling of dread. And so it's like, if you're really easily susceptible, it kind of extends that dread to other statues you might find in your life. But overall, I would say that probably the best design overall would be the Clockwork robots. And it's like I mentioned, it has to do with their inner workings, what we get to see after the Doctor uncovers them, but also just the costume design for them when they were in Madame de Pompadour's era. Just the whole costume and the scariness of them, like those things were just terrifying. It was kind of like, if I was younger, it's like the way that those characters were envisioned, I guess you would say, would have the same effect on me as clowns seem to have on a lot of people. So yeah, and I actually do have sort of an issue with masks anyway, like theatrical masks. I'll go into that another day, but it's just there's a whole level of creepiness there for me I don't like to get into. Now the third question from Stallchild, looking at the classic Who Doctors, which do you think looks best? And I'm assuming he just means, like, who do I find to be the most visually appealing, I guess? Because I haven't actually gotten to experience any of them yet. But looking at a picture that he added as a link for reference, I'm kind of stuck between two of them. I would have to say that either the fifth Doctor or the eighth. The fifth, just because, I don't know, there's just something really nice and pleasant about him that I really like. And then the eighth, maybe this is inaccurate, but for some reason I get, I don't know, he just looks cool. I just kind of like the way that he's presented. It reminds me of a few other actors that I really like. And yeah, I don't really have much to go on besides that. So yeah, I like the fifth and the eighth visually the best, I guess you would say, at least as far as the pictures I had for reference go. Now the next question I had from Stallchild, I think you left like 7 for me. The fourth is, how am I feeling about Matt Smith now? And I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm really feeling good about Matt Smith now. He's he's definitely proven himself as the Doctor. I find it completely comfortable to enjoy him in his role now. I just feel like he's doing a really good job. And while the way he is presented is much different from both Eccleston and Tennant, it definitely I don't know, I just really like the way he's portrayed now. And some of that has to do with the writing as well, obviously. Some of the differences and just the way he comes across. But I feel like Matt Smith, even for the episodes I don't particularly like, uh, he does a good job of portraying the Doctor, I guess you would say. Now, the fifth question from him is, what am I thinking of Peter Capaldi, the 12th and latest Doctor, obviously? And I really can't say. I haven't seen any of the episodes with him so far. I've seen pictures, and I've seen screen grabs, and I've seen some animated GIFs, whatever. And, yeah, it just, I can't really give a solid answer on that yet because I haven't really experienced him as the Doctor yet. He seems to be a great Doctor. People really seem to be enjoying him so far, but until I actually get there, I can't really say myself. So, yeah, TBD, to be determined on that one. Now, the sixth question from Stallchild is, how often do I watch Doctor Who with Jill? And it's actually not that often. It was more often during the Tennant era, because she was a huge fan of, definitely became a huge fan of David Tennant. And she was kind of uneasy about Matt Smith overall coming in. She is definitely getting more used to him. She'd be more used to him if she was watching all the episodes with me, obviously, but that hasn't been the case. But I would say maybe every 3 or 4 episodes she'll watch with me, because usually when I watch the episode, she'll be either watching something else or she'll be at work or on her way home from work. So it's kind of a timeline thing for us overall, like trying to find the right times to watch the episodes together. But yeah, excuse me. Overall, I wish we could watch it a little bit more often together, but for what we do, it's like, she definitely seems to enjoy the show. Now, the seventh and final question from Stallchild. Which are you most likely to watch after Doctor Who? Torchwood or the Sarah Jane Adventures? And I'm definitely, the sort of a side answer to that is I'm definitely going to be watching both. But as far as which one I'm going to watch first, definitely be Torchwood. And for a few reasons. One, I mean, it's more adult-oriented, so more of the viewers, more of you all would be inclined to enjoy my reviews of those. Sarah Jane Adventures, I'll be doing those as well after Torchwood. I'm actually trying to decide whether I want to watch all of Torchwood and then all of Sarah Jane Adventures, or if I'll do it sort of like as a seasonal thing, like I'll watch a season of Torchwood and then a season of Sarah Jane. We'll see how that works out, and I'd love to hear some input from you all as to the way you would like for that to go. But yeah, both of them will be happening, but Torchwood will be the first. Now, moving on, I have a question from Ian McLean, and I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name right, but his question is, what has been your favorite story arc so far? Season 1, Bad Wolf, Season 2, Torchwood, Season 3, Vote Saxon, Season 4, The Bees / Something on Your Back / Missing Planets, or Season 5, The Cracks in Space and Time. And it really, for me, I think it comes down to the Season 5 Cracks in Time was really well done. I really liked the way it built up, but it felt a little bit disjointed. It's like the cracks in time were definitely there, but at the same time, it's like there was a whole Silence Will Fall, which seemed like it was going to be just as big and important of a part, but that really hasn't come into play so far. It's going to be a part of Season 6, so I don't know. That one it felt a bit disjointed for me. Probably my overall favorite story arc would have to be the one with Donna, which is the Bees / Something on Your Back / Missing Planets, with Vote Saxon coming in at a very close second. Honestly, I really liked all of the story arcs altogether. I feel like all of them really served their purpose and they were all enjoyable in their own way. But for overall, just because of how much I enjoyed Donna and hated seeing her go, her story arc, the Season 4 story arc, I feel like was my favorite overall. And I know some of you all have voiced some of your favorite story arcs as we've gone along, but I'd really like to hear, if you could, answer in the comments below. Just let me know what some of your favorite story arcs were, maybe even put them in order if you want. But moving on, oh, and Ian actually has a second question. what's been my favorite Doctor Who Christmas episode. And I would have to say A Christmas Carol, honestly. A Christmas Carol was just really good overall. I've enjoyed the other Christmas episodes, but this one, the most recent one that I watched, was by far the best for me. It was just really enjoyable, great story, wonderful visuals, and plus it had sharks that flew around in the air, which was hilarious. All right, moving on. I never know how to pronounce your nickname right. I am so sorry, but DWADDLJ. Her question is, what are my favorite tracks from Series 1 and 2 compilation soundtrack? And this one, I actually had to listen through it a few times because there's a lot of really good music in there. Even songs that, I don't, they aren't particularly catchy for me. I enjoyed them. But I did manage to whittle it down to 6 from the entire soundtrack, which I guess you could more say 5 because 1, I guess is kind of by default, the Doctor Who theme, and I may not have cared for it at first. I thought it was kind of weird, but it definitely became something I absolutely love about the show as it's gone on, as it's changed over the last several seasons. The Doctor Who theme is just great, and I'll always love it, even though I feel like the current one, as I'm watching right now, is probably the weakest of those that have been presented. But let's, in no particular order, my 5 favorite songs from seasons 1 and 2, or series 1 and 2, are Slitheen, which I found interesting because I really didn't like the Slitheen as creatures in the show, Rose's theme, Madame de Pompadour, The Lone Dalek, and then what I would probably have to say is my absolute favorite song of the 2 series, Doomsday. That's one that I actually hit repeat on several times, so that one was by far my favorite. But overall, I really feel that those 5 / kind of 6 songs were my favorites from Series 1 and 2. So yeah, moving on, question from Zach Hessimer. And it's, have your mother and father watched Doctor Who? If not, you should watch Vincent and the Doctor with them and tell us what they thought. That is a great standalone episode, and I believe it is 3... Oh, well, a little commentary there. Also, what do I do for work outside of YouTube? As for my mom and dad, they don't... As far as I know, they've never really watched Doctor Who, and unfortunately we didn't have time to really sit down and watch Vincent and the Doctor together while I was with them. Hopefully I'll do that another time, and I'll let you all know their thoughts on it when I get around to that. But around Christmas, they were showing a Doctor Who marathon on BBC, and my dad was able to watch a few episodes, and he told me he really liked it so far. He was finding it really enjoyable. My mom didn't have a chance to watch it with him, but so far my dad seems to really like it. So I'm definitely looking forward to being able to get their thoughts on Vincent and the Doctor to you all, because I completely agree, that was a great standalone episode. As for what I do outside of YouTube, which is definitely just a hobby, not my full-time job, I actually work for Delta Airlines. I am a programmer there, and actually work, the stuff that I program is used within the company itself. So nothing, like if you go to thedelta.com, nothing you see there is anything I actually work on. So what I do is basically behind the scenes, and it's a good place to work. I really enjoy it. Yeah, so I work for Delta Airlines. All right, moving on. A question from Lola Ferrix. Who is responsible for making me a Whovian? And that answer could be several people, because there were definitely quite a few people that recommended the show to me, that said that they thought I would enjoy it. But the one person that I feel like sort of drove me to watch it the most is my friend Jamie, who is a huge fan of Doctor Who. Her husband's a huge fan of Doctor Who. Her kids are huge fans of Doctor Who. And, I mean, when I first started out, she was the one that actually got me to at least watch the first episode, even though I didn't particularly care for it. And then she would ask what I thought, and I was just like, I don't know, but she kept motivating me to keep watching, to keep going on, because it got better. And, as you all know, if you watched the first episode, I actually watched the first episode again. Still didn't care for it. Kind of let it fall by the wayside. There's a cat messing with my curtain. And then I watched it the third time when I started doing Discovering Doctor Who. And yeah, I really owe becoming a Whovian to her, because she's the one that kept pushing me and kept telling me, it gets better, just keep watching, it will get better. And she was absolutely right. So yeah, thank you, Jamie, for motivating me to keep watching Doctor Who and becoming a Whovian. My cat is still messing with the curtain. Stop it! Alright, moving on. What I believe is... Oh, it's not the last question. Next question from Gary Smith is, does my wife and family enjoy watching Doctor Who with me, or have I thought of introducing members of my family to Doctor Who? And I guess I kind of answered that previously in a way, but Jill definitely likes watching Doctor Who with me. She hasn't enjoyed all the episodes as much as I have overall, but whenever we do watch together, she enjoys it and she'll give me her thoughts. She really liked the Vincent and the Doctor episode, as you all saw in a previous video. As for my family, I don't really know of anyone else in my family that watches Doctor Who, except for perhaps one of my little cousins. He told me before I came home from the holidays that he watches Doctor Who with a friend of his, and he really likes it, so that was pretty cool. Otherwise, my dad just recently watched a few episodes during the marathon around Christmas. My mom, as far as I know, hasn't watched any Doctor Who. As for my sisters, again, as far as I know, they haven't watched any, so I really would like to get them into it, but there's sort of, I guess, the divide of we don't really live that close together, because I'm in Minnesota and they're in Kentucky, which is a pretty good distance away. So it's not like I can just go down and be like, okay, we're going to watch this episode. Ta-da! But I would definitely like to get them into Doctor Who's, find out more about their thoughts having to do with the show, and I think it's something that most of them, if not all of them, would probably enjoy. So, you know, who knows? That question will hopefully change over the next few years. And, okay, the final question comes from Mini Amations. I think I mispronounce your username in my head even, but Mini Amations is what I'm going to go with. And his question is, will I LP or do a typical Discovering Doctor Who type video for the video game Doctor Who The Eternity Clock, which I know that there's at least one, possibly a few more Doctor Who video games out there. I haven't played any of them before. It's definitely some of the media that I'm wanting to look at. I'm planning on doing video game reviews, if not necessarily on this channel, on one of my friends' channels. But I mean, it's definitely something I would like to do. It's something I'm planning to do. I don't know if how long it'll take me to get to that particular game, but as long as it's readily available and easy to play on my PC or one of the consoles I own, then it's definitely a possibility. Yeah, again, I don't know how many games there are exactly, or if Doctor Who The Eternity Clock is the only one sort of readily available, but if it's available, I will most likely be doing it at some point, after I have gotten caught up with the, you know, new Doctor Who series. But yeah, everyone, that's all the questions that I have so far, or that I got for this particular Ask Me Anything, and I'm sure that this has gone on long enough. What are we at right now? Almost 19 minutes, so I might see if I can cut a little bit there and make it a little bit quicker. But overall, everyone, thank you so much for the questions. Thank you so much for following along and just enjoying these videos I do. I know that some get more views than others, but in fact, let's call this the celebration of however many subscribers I have at this time, because we didn't get 600 subscribers by the new year as I would have liked, but overall, in the end, it's like, it doesn't matter how many subscribers I have. The fact is that the people that are watching and subscribe to this channel right now are just, you all are absolutely amazing, wonderful people. I love hearing what you have to say about all the videos I do, whether it's positive or negative. I like constructive feedback. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Everyone, I hope you have a very happy new year. I'm going to be coming out with other videos very soon. I'm going to be getting back into Discovering Doctor Who. I'm finally going to get the Series 5 recap done soon. And I'm also going to do a little Christmas haul video just for fun, because I did get some pretty sweet Doctor Who stuff from my wife. And yeah, Everyone, thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other questions you would like to send my way, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I'll probably do another Ask Me Anything in the future. I'll try and make it a little bit faster. But everyone, again, have a very happy new year. I will see you very soon for the next video. I don't know what it's going to be next, but keep an eye on the channel and on the social media, because I'll be sure to keep you all up to date on that. And oh, and also be sure to go check out the previous video that I came out with yesterday on New Year's Eve, which was part 1 of a brand new episode of my Snack-In series. And it stars my mom, who she basically makes a bunch of sweets every Christmas, and they're delicious and awesome, and I got to sort of give my thoughts on them, and you can possibly get the recipes as well if you would like. So yeah, click here if you want to go check that out. Anyway, we're going over 21 minutes now on this video, so everyone, again, thank you so much for joining in, and I will see you next time on the next whatever video comes out. Later, everyone.